Hello, my name is Mariam Rezai. My colleagues and I are students of Technical University of Vienna, and we prepared this presentation about Protégé, a tool for knowledge management. Protégé is a free open-source ontology editor and knowledge-based framework which supports two main ways of modeling ontologies via the Protégé frames and Protégé all editors. There are several features that distinguish Protégé from other knowledge-based editing tools. Features such as Protégé's intuitive and easy-to-use graphical user interface and its scalability. Another feature is its extensible plugin architecture. You can easily extend Protégé with plugins tailored for your domain and task. How does Protégé support the management of explicit knowledge? It's supported by storing the information about class hierarchy and its properties, documentation, constraint, roles, template slots, by saving the information related to slot browser and editor, form browser and editor, instance browser and editors. Queries are also available in Protégé. Protégé is a frame-based system. Frame-based systems are knowledge representation systems that use frames as their primary means to present domain knowledge. A frame is a structure for representing a concept or situation. Attached to a frame are several kinds of information. One of the features of frame-based system is that frames are organized in hierarchies. Frames are composed out of attributes for which different values and references to other frames have to be specified or computed. The other useful feature is that the properties are inherited from superframe to subframe in the hierarchy according to some inheritance strategy. These organizational principles turned out to be very useful, and indeed, the new popular object-oriented languages have adopted these organizational principles. Now, how does Protégé support the management of tacit knowledge? Tacit knowledge, as we know, is opposed to explicit knowledge, is knowledge that is difficult to transfer to another person by means of writing it down or verbalizing it. Tacit knowledge in an enterprise is the knowledge and all the experience stored in the mind of expertise and members of the organization. Protégé helps us to extract this knowledge and save it for the future use in a learning system. Effective transfer of tacit knowledge is an important point for knowledge management tools. Protégé supports it by implementing a rich set of knowledge modeling structures and actions that support the creation, visualization, and manipulation of ontologies in various representation formats. Tacit knowledge will be translated into explicit knowledge through methods and is observable for users via graphs, XML, OL, HTML, and other documents. Knowledge becomes lessons learned for the organization and for the future use. What are the key technical features of Protégé? Protégé supports Java Development Kit, Oracle, MySQL, Microsoft SQL Server, Microsoft Access, XML, exports the file to formats like HTML, Interpol, N3, OL, RDIF schema, and Turtle. Protégé supports any database that has a JDBC version 1 driver. In practice, this means most relational databases. There are currently a number of standard formats supported in Protégé, such as standard text files which are clips, RDF schema, and OL, or a web ontology language, which is a family of knowledge representation languages for authoring ontologies. Besides, it's possible to save Protégé projects in any JDBC-compatible database. Protégé uses its own schema. Another standard format is XML. As of Protégé 3.1 works with an XML backend. This backend will eventually become the default backend for Protégé. What supporting technologies from our first lecture are included in Protégé? Protégé helps to creating and editing ontologies in knowledge bases. An ontology describes the concepts and relationships that are important in a particular domain, providing a vocabulary for the domain as well as a computerized specification of the meaning of terms used in the vocabulary. In recent years, ontologies have been adopted in many business and scientific communities as a way to share or reuse and process domain knowledge. Ontologies are now central to many applications such as scientific knowledge portals, information management, integration systems, electronic commerce, and semantic web services. And Protégé is a useful tool for creating such ontologies. The other technology is XML, Extensible Markup Language. There are 2 plugins in the contributions library that allows you to store a knowledge base in XML. There are XML ontology and XML schema. The XML ontology, which generates an XML schema file in which classes are defined as schema types, and an XML document instance that contains instances. The XML schema generates a schema that conforms to the Protégé knowledge model and an XML document instance that contains classes and instances. Now the question is, are there any success stories? Are there projects which have already used Protégé? One of the projects is Neuron Bank, which uses Protégé. It's a new effort to create a knowledge base of identifiable neurons and synaptic connections in invertebrate nervous system. Neuron Bank will serve as a central catalog of neurons and be a federated system of databases that will allow users to publish information about neurons and their connections. Protégé is useful because it allows the descriptions of neurons to evolve, as we'll learn more about neurons and be modified to capture the important features of different animal species. Neuron Bank is funded by a grant from the National Institute of Mental Health and by internal funding from the Brain and Behavior Program at Georgia State University. The other project is Smart Research, which is in Finland and University of Jyväskylä and an industrial ontologist group. It's used to combine the emerging semantic web services, peer-to-peer machine learning, and agent technologies for the development of a global and smart maintenance management environment, to provide a web-based support for the predictive maintenance of industrial devices by utilizing heterogeneous and interoperable web research services and human experts. There are other projects such as Rainbow, which is which is a project. Its goal is to develop a flexible architecture for knowledge-based analysis of the World Wide Web. The Rainbow system employs the web service in semantic web technology to analyze and present to a user or computer agent the content and structure of legacy websites. The other project is Gambling. Gambling uses Protégé to build reports. They've been focusing on the transcription or recording of games. It's assumed that the played games will be available to anyone on the World Wide Web in a form that will enable them to replay it in order to learn how such game is played or to gain further experience, much as one might do to learn or improve in the playing of chess. Well, we are at the end of our presentation about Protégé, and we hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you for your attention.